week 5 of Rocket League, and it is going to be Team Ramrod facing off against the Hino Bros in this last week of the regular season. I'm James. I'm joined here with Ari, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what we saw last week. Last week we saw, I believe it was just Tip of the Spear and Jody's Knock, and we saw a 4-1 victory for just the Tip of the Spear. But the other teams that had some really strong performances were Goats and Glory, 5-0ing Hino Bros, who we'll get to see tonight, and hoping for a better show from them. And then Team 3 facing off against Team Ramrod with a 3-2 finish, and we'll get to see Team Ramrod as well. So looking at the standings, you'll see that the teams that we're watching are currently in 5th and 6th place with 11 and 10 points respectively. And you can tell that with these 5-game series that we're playing each night, Team Ramrod can get to 2nd, right? So we are just a little bit out of the range of getting that top seeded position going into the tournament next week. But nonetheless, I'm expecting a very exciting game. Ari, I think we've seen these teams before. Do you have any memories from Team Ramrod or Hino Bros or any of the games that we've watched them compete in?
I do remember saying the name Hino Bros, so I do remember them at least pulling out some sort of fun shenanigans for us to watch. You know, they're somewhat memorable, and that's what matters in this league, right? It is for fun. It's not super competitive. But it looks like we might be getting underway shortly, right? That is the time trigger now, and everything really. I kind of wanted to look at the rules real quick just to check how many teams qualify. It is 8. So technically, if you lose this game, it is possible to not make the playoffs. It's doable.
That is completely true. And as we transition here, we are now in the game. We've got Team Ramrod in the blue being represented by a couple of players that are coming off a little bit of a rough week. Same with Hino Bros represented in the orange, and both of them facing off, trying to get up that leaderboard as much as possible prior to the tournament next week. And I did say, you know, represented by some players is because I can't see the names on my screen. We got Solar, Starkiller, and Neighborhood Burn, I think it is. Starkiller, quick. These super long names. But that's Team Ramrod. What is it? Neighborhood Bum. I see it now. And then we got
with a question mark.
Sudude and Rosa Trinity facing off on the Hino Bros. So, early goal for Team Ramrod.
Yeah, they get one early, and, you know, we always talk about how getting off to a good start, pretty solid, but also, you know, making sure you don't have those mistakes. And right now, well, we got ourselves an even game as one goal finds its way in. Dude. Yep, that name I do remember, that's for sure. We'll tie this one up, and couldn't let a blowout happen just quite yet, right? We gotta keep it close in game number 1.
Yeah, and we always say in these early games, it's all about getting that momentum, getting those strong opening rounds in this 5-round series, because it just carries on with you. And we always notice that in these early games, you know, round 1, round 2, there's a little bit of a warm-up period for these teams. And right now, I think we're seeing it a little bit on the defensive aspect of it, making sure that everyone is positioned correctly to adjust when the other team is coming in for an attack. And speaking of attack, we do have the Hino Bros facing up for a potential goal here. And we got Rosa Trinity with an opportunity, and it does go in, giving the Hino Bros a 2-1 lead over Team Ramrod.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, Rosa Trinity, really just a nice touch there. Makes sure that control of the ball is kept. And with stoppage of the ball, was able to just corral it right into that net. So this game already, I mean, just from the first minute and change, seems to be a good one, set up for, you know, a pretty good 5-game series. And for a reminder, everyone, this is not a best of 5, although the graphic might say that. It will change shortly, just as the scoreline will. Rosa Trinity adding another to the total.
Yeah, right now we're seeing Hino Bros coming out of the gate hot, and as Ari was just saying, for some weird reason, this overlay that we're using, it does think it's a best of 5 for like the first round, and then it adjusts. It is just 5 full games in the combat tested gaming league version that we run for Rocket League. Now here we do have Solar, Starkiller, Quake. I'm just going to call him Solar from now on, trying to defend against another Hino Bros attempt, and Rosa Trinity going just a little wide to the left is going to give an opportunity for Team Ramrod to potentially get possession and start a push of their own. Solar with a lined up shot towards the Hino Bros net, but now here comes Sudude with an aggressive attack, but it's knocked back by Neighborhood Bum.
Neighborhood Bum with a question mark? But yeah, no, this game, it is pretty fast paced, and in twos, you kind of have to make sure that you're not overextending, your teammate has your back, and right now it seems like, at least for this, hold up, I'm tabbed into the wrong tab, is for this Hino Bros side, right? Their teamwork seems to be on point, and they seem to be accounting for every possible thing that could go wrong right now.
Right now, I'd say that's true. They're definitely playing the aggressive game. If the early defense didn't work, allowing that initial goal for Team Ramrod, well, you don't really need to play defense too much if you are just jamming the soccer ball into the other net. So here comes Sudude, recovering a ball from corner, getting it past both defenders. He does have an open shot here. Is he going to make it? He does. And Sudude 2024 with the 4th goal for the Hino Bros on the night.
So if 2024 is in the name, how many, we got what, 2020 more goals to keep going and watching?
Yeah, I think that's the called shot there. That's how many goals they're going for.
Oh boy, we're in for a long day
we
today.
Are in for a night. So,
well,
dude,
a night, an extra day, maybe a week.
yeah, it's going to take a minute. Here comes Starkiller, though, with another shot of their own, closing the gap to a 4-2 score. Now, this has only been going on for 3 minutes. We're averaging a goal every 30 seconds in this round. I'm curious to see if this is going to carry on through all 5 rounds, or if this is just kind of that warm-up aspect that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
I think right now for Team Ramrod, I think they are feeling out the play style. Hino Bros, I think they're just trying to play their own, right? They have that aggressive play style, like you said, and they're just going to keep on piling the aggression. Ramrod, excuse me, it seems like they're taking this game to be tactical. I mean, this is what you should do in your first game. You try and figure out how the enemy is playing, and you can capitalize off of those blunders that they may make, or maybe some tendencies that they might have, try and counter-strat them. But right now, it seems like they're just taking a little bit too slow on this first game. You got plenty of time left, but it's time to maybe ramp it up here with just about a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, I agree. They are running out of time in this first round. But I think if we're talking about opportunities and ways to play against each other, I think if Team Ramrod is able to get some of those big kickbacks, right? Like we saw it before with Solar, when Team Hino Bros pushes a little too hard, you have this situation that we're looking at right here, right? An open net where they can just boot it beyond both defenders. There's no need for extra dribbling, and I'm curious to see if they adjust for that in the future rounds. But for right now, Sudude with another one on the board, getting closer to that 2024 shot goal that they have called, and increasing the lead to a 5-2 score.
Maybe it's like a goal deficit. Maybe the first game is the difference is 2 goals, and then 0, and then 2, and then 4, and then the last game is, I don't know, a free-for-all, something like that. But yeah, you mentioned it. They're not quite adapting yet. They get scored on once again, and Team Ramrod, they're going to be struggling in this one. I mean, 10-second rule applies. They're still in this one. But unfortunately, it seems like their luck might have run out in this one. I just don't know that they've fully adapted to the playstyle yet. I just feel like they're still playing from behind, which obviously in terms of the scoreline, they are.
Yeah, and it's still early in the night. I think this one is going to go to the Hino Bros, but we are starting to see some more maneuvers, and ooh, a potential goal there from Solar does get knocked away by Rosa Trinity. But yeah, I'm going to chalk this one up. This is going to be a Hino Bros victory. Great game by them. I don't know if they were warming up prior to this match or if they've been practicing, but they came out of the gates absolutely swinging and brought it to Team Ramrod.
I'm seeing that they're champion tournament winners. That's a pretty good feat to have, and they're showing off their skills, right? Their mechanics seem to be on point. Now it just comes down to the consistency, right? You talk about winning a game. That's a nice thing to do. Can you win 5 though, right? Every single game will matter in the tiebreaker in terms of the seeding. But at the end of the day today too, you just want to win this game at the bare minimum, right? You want to get at least 3 out of those 5 games in this series today because, well, if you don't get those 3, you might end up not even in the end of the season tournament at all. and that's not great.
Yeah, that's true. And also, just a reminder to everyone that is tuning in and watching this, perhaps for the first time, as we do have some first-time chat members joining us. This is Combat Tested Gaming League. It is a competitive, free league for all veterans and active duty service members, and it's graciously hosted by the KC crew and the VFW. So if you're interested as a veteran or an active duty service member, or you know someone that is, join the Discord. And I believe we've set the Twitch up to where if you even mention the word Discord or type in Discord, it should send the link to you. So join in there. Great community, completely free, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities, just as Sadude has with an open net. I mean, add it to the tally, right? 2024, we got, what, 6? We're almost there. But yeah, Sadude is just doing a great job of capitalizing. I mean, we see it time and time again that this core has not really stumbled at all. They don't find themselves getting demoed, which I think maybe Ramrod does need to step up on that physical play, right? They're not really making Hino Bros feel uncomfortable, and they're kind of giving them that free range. Not something you want to do against a team that has a very aggressive play style.
Yeah, it's tough, though. It's definitely out of, some players' comfort zone when you're being pushed and pushed and pushed. The immediate thought is, okay, get back on the net. Be in a position where I can respond quickly, and less so, okay, I need to punch back, right? It reminds me of like if you're in a boxing match or something, you're not just gonna sit there and throw your hands up the whole time. You gotta swing back, and we're seeing that a little bit here as Neighborhood Bum just barely missing an opportunity, and now Rosa Trinity taking full advantage. Oh, but Solar with an amazing save is gonna start taking it back. Can they get it past one Hino Bro? A second, just barely wide, but Neighborhood Bum with the goal, tying it up in this second round.
I am so confused to what just happened there. I mean, obviously we saw Solar there getting at least some sort of pop over one player, but somehow got both the touch over the player and the demo, which to me was absurd, right? Usually you get bumped out of the way into Narnia and you're gone, or the ball gets thrown away, something like that. But somehow you get both, and you manage to set up your teammate perfectly. I mean, I don't know if that's planned or not, but that is just a good fundamental rotation where your teammate is in position to score the goal off of your initial push.
100%. Ball floating in the air right now is going to set up Rosa Trinity with a potential shot off the backboard. Double tap does not quite happen. The second touch does send it wide. And here goes Solar with a potential open net. Rosa Trinity, the only defender back. Is Team Ramrod going to be able to capitalize on this? I'm watching. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Dude, with possession, they are able to protect from that potential goal that Team Ramrod was setting up for. And now they are a little bit on the defense as Rosa Trinity is going to sneak it all the way across the field and giving Hino Bros another round where they are starting off and maintaining a good lead.
I forget who it was here, but somebody kind of went for a pace change, right? They tried to slow down the ball. And sometimes that is a good decision, right? You want to try and throw off your opponent, maybe fake them out a little bit if you're going for a shot attempt, something like that. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's just Sadude. And the aggression from this team, just way too strong. I mean, kickoff goal, sure, it's a skill that some teams have and some don't. But either way, if you want to come back in this game, Team Ramrod, you're going to have to start picking this one up soon.
And I think they will. I think that last goal, that happens to the best of them. And here we go, right off the bat. Oh, no, but Sadude for the Hino Bros was there and ready and getting one of those long boots across the field. Oh, but here comes Solar. And he makes it happen.
Yeah, I mean, that is a free goal right there. That's what you call a double commit, right? You saw both of those orange players, those Hino Bros, they go flying on by. They both don't hit the ball. And even if one does, right, who are you going to pass it to? Your teammate's already in front of you. And that goal is freer than the Blue Jays had that 7-run inning. That's right, go Jays.
Yeah, you're seeing the chat right now. Yeah, Blue Jays had a crazy inning if you're interested in baseball at all. Rosa Trinity does get another goal, bringing the lead 4-2 for the Hino Bros. Now this, previously, last match, we had a very similar scoreline, right? But it was much later in the game. We are at a point where it's still a game ahead of us. Team Ramrod definitely has a chance to come back. A good pinch right off the beginning as both players try to push for that initial kickoff. But it does kind of go in favor of Team Ramrod, and Rosa Trinity getting an outside potential here to line it up for a teammate. Does try to line it up, but it gets knocked out of the way. And now it's just a standard fight for possession as Team Ramrod is trying to push it downfield.
Yeah, I want Ramrod to have a set plan with what they want to do with this ball, right? It seems like they're kind of just going to save the ball, and then once they do it, they're like, okay, well, let's just try and send it down into their area and try and get a shot on that. And oh boy, that free jump a little bit too high, and that should be an empty net goal if I can calculate that correctly. Yes, indeed. So, dude, just slotting that one in. But it all comes off from the pre-jump that was, unfortunately, no good. A little overzealous there, homie. Might need to pull the brakes just a tap.
The Hino Bros trying to give back a little bit of the taste of the medicine they received last week, right? We were looking at the schedule. They ended up playing Goats and Glory, which is the current #1 team in the league, and ended up getting shut out 5-0 last week. But they took that and ran with it, and it's apparently motivating them, and they are putting on some serious goals right now against Team Ramrod. Right now we do have a scary position here for Team Ramrod, but Solar with that demo is very timely and is going to allow, hopefully, a return here for Team Ramrod. But Rosa Trinity with a potential shot opening up. If they can get a good angle off of this ball in the angle. Now, the Team Ramrod was both players sitting in the net were ready and able to shoot that back. And now off the backboard, we've got Neighborhood Bum trying, but it goes wide to the right.
Wide right, something you never want to hear, especially in an NFL Bills game. Rest in peace. But 5-2, you know, the score. And like we said it last time, deja vu. You gotta start coming back right now. You have to close that gap. Here's your chance, and Solar can't get the shot in. It's so close, but no cigar. And with that, that will seal the deal. You know, bros, they're gonna take game number 2. And oh boy, Team Ramrod, they're gonna be panicking right now.
Well, I hope not, and I don't think that they need to, honestly. I think a couple of the goals that had happened against them were a little bit of just kind of the quick, like, whoops, got lost in the chaos, and it slipped by. I think that they have the right play style, and with a couple small adjustments, they're going to be able to hopefully pick off a couple games off of the Hino Bros. But not round number 2. They are currently up 2-0 against Team Ramrod as we enter round number 3.
I mean, you say that like it's easy, though, you know, right? You say, well, they know what they got to do. They just got to do it.
Yeah, just do the thing, guys. It's easy, no problem, right? It's a big net, little ball, just hit it.
Yeah, and, you know, it's like me saying, yeah, I've hit a bullseye on an archery board once. That means I can go to the Olympics, right? I know what to do. I can just do it.
It's that easy. Now, just do it again. 100%. I am oversimplifying. That's for sure.
I'm just messing with you.
No, but you are right, and it has to be identified, right? And so we saw a little bit of adjustments between game 1 and game 2 for Team Ramrod. But right here, right, it's that big kick. That's what they need to do. Is what you saw there is play back. They get that large boot across the field because the Hino Bros are playing aggressive. There is an opportunity to beat them back downfield. And so I think what we just saw there, if they can key in on that, they may be able to make some things happen in this round number 3. Oh my gosh, right off the kick.
Bonk. Yep.
Or you can just do that.
I mean,
yeah, just do that.
Yeah. maybe it is easier said, or maybe it is easier done than said. Just score kickoff goals. Right?
Yeah.
They can't have a chance to respond if you just win the 50-50 initially every single time. But yeah, it does come down to, you know, getting that big clear like you mentioned, right? If you can do that, you're forcing your opponents to double commit, and then you're in a great spot, right? If you're playing back, chances are you're not going to overextend, because if you're playing passive, it's kind of impossible for you to overextend. What are you going to do? Sit too far in your net? Sure, you can do that, but it's a lot safer than sitting in your opponent's net where you get no value.
Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to be a third goal for Team Ramrod. I believe this is the largest lead Team Ramrod has had tonight, but Rosa Trinity trying to make something happen. It gets knocked away by Neighborhood Bum. And now we've got Solar knocking it off of Dude. That's a little bit of unfortunate. That never feels good when you get an initial block, right? We'll see it again here. So Starkiller hits it up, and Dude, it kind of just bounces off the side of their car into the goal. So good placement, good positioning by the Hino Bros, but definitely something that needs to be prevented in the future, especially if they want to maintain this lead. This is the round that Team Ramrods can take, and I bet they taste that blood in the water.
For sure. I mean, this isn't basketball, but the Rocket League term for it, adopted by the community, is indeed a dunk. That is what that term is called, and, you know, it makes sense, right? You get your car angled in the perfect angle just to slot it in, and oh my gosh, speaking of angles, what was that by Rosa Trinity? How does this even find a feasible line to the goal?
I don't know. That replay didn't really do it justice either. Dude taking it up from the top. One of the hardest goals, at least in my opinion, to defend in Rocket League are those top-down goals where it just slides really, really close to the net, right down in front of it, and it sets it up for that second player to just essentially tap it in, right? And it increases the risk of the defenders to accidentally tap it in on their own goal. And that's what we saw there. Dude basically dropping it down from above, and Rosa Trinity taking advantage of that and effectively being a wall where the ball had no choice but to just go into the net. So here we are, tied up, 2-2.
Yeah, there you kind of want to get one player on the backboard, but in twos, not often do you really see that because you have one player kind of contesting the ball, the other one doesn't really have enough time to react fast enough, rotate all the way up to the backboard. So that's why you see those goals come in twos that you might not see in threes, but that is what makes the game ever so more entertaining. And Neighborhood Bum looking to maybe get a shot towards the net, will not do so, but Solar trying to stay with this one in midfield. It ends up with Rosa. Rosa getting demoed right back to the mechanic shop. And, well, this ball, they had a chance to make do with it, and here's the chance once again, but nope. No cigar for you once again.
Yeah, a couple good setups there that I would have liked to see Team Ramrod take advantage of. But wait, I think what's going on is they're tied, right? They've got some time on the clock. They don't want to get too overextended, right? They don't want to give away any free goals, which is, you know, if I were playing right now on Team Ramrod, I feel like that's kind of the result of round 1 and round 2. A lot of the goals that were given to the Hino Bros were kind of free goals. And so I think that's the adjustment that we're seeing from them, is trying to prevent that. But I think they may be overdoing it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a change in behavior as the clock ticks down to get that final goal and put this round to bed.
You're already seeing it right there. Solar had the chance to go up for the aerial, decides not to because their teammate was pushed up a little bit too far. This one, a shot that will not go on target, making it a little bit dangerous for them to come on back and rotate, trying to make the save. They will do so in time. Solar, though, needs to get this out because they have no boost. They're kind of in danger right now in the 50. Well, there's no 50. I thought there was going to be one. The challenge instead faked by Rosa. This one actually bounces towards the Hino Bros net. But when it's all said and done, when the dust clears, it still remains tied at 2-2. However, here comes Solar, and from the skies above, shines down the beam of light and gets this lead 3-2.
Look at that cinematic goal right there. Dude was chasing it, trying to get in the way of it, but it did go in. And right now, we are watching Team Ramrod with the first round of these 3 rounds so far, where they have a solid shot. But Rosa Trinity with a beamer straight towards the net. Neighborhood Bum getting rid of it. Oh no! Solar missed it! Rosa Trinity going to be able to tie it up with that third goal. That has got to feel bad. We'll see it here again, right? Dude shoots. Solar just barely misses it. And that is going to tie it up. With only 46 seconds left, Team Ramrod's probably feeling the pressure.
I mean, they're definitely feeling the pressure, right? You have one teammate go and whiff right by it, and you're thinking, oh, don't worry, I got you, teammate. Whiff. Well, welcome to Rocket League, where you can't exactly control your teammate. You can only focus on your own mistakes. And that one there, Team Ramrod, they're just going to hope for that one back, right? You got to score an extra goal here now if you're going to win. But honestly, I think their offense is a little bit better than their defense. The more time they spend on that offensive half, the better it's going to go for them.
Yeah, I agree. And anyone that's played Rocket League as well definitely has their own share of experiences, just barely missing. Oh, great save there by Solar is going to keep them in the game. And I think we're going to be going into an overtime situation. But I know last round they were able to keep this ball up for a lot longer than I expected. And maybe we'll see a goal off of this one.
Yeah, I was going to say that
there
pop
it goes.
wasn't exactly. It was close. I mean, you get a little bit of a higher pop. You can maybe get a double tap, but that corner really just messing up the flow, makes it very tough to read. And this one a tough read as well. Rosa, though, gets the nice pop. Rosa trying to follow up with it as well, but doesn't get any sort of value. So we will remain in this overtime. But hey, OT, I love myself some close games, and I'm sure everyone in the chat does as well.
Yeah, what I'm keeping an eye on right now is those breakaway opportunities, right? Oh, huge demo there. And then huge save from Team Ramrod. They are not looking to give this game up, but they need to get that ball downfield, and they need to start robbing these boosts. That's kind of the thought that I was going to have, is in this situation, that one breakaway is going to be so much more sensitive than it has been when there was time to recover. But right now we're going to see an open net, but Solar with another save. And you can see, right, Rosa Trinity and Sadude are robbing these boosts. And at some point, there's going to be a chance for them to take advantage of that and catch their opponents out of position.
You know, every time I see a car just whiz past the ball, the sound effect in my head just goes, whee! And it makes the game so much more entertaining, because imagine you're just OT, you know, final shot on the board, trying to save this miraculous goal, and then whee, whee, woo, whee.
I think last week someone had a different like engine sound, and I actually thought there was something wrong with like my audio there for a second. It was like retro like engine sound or something. It was strange. So, dude, trying to go up for that tough goal to save. But man, Team Ramrod, they are saving everything coming their way. But unfortunately, you can have a million saves, but it only takes one goal to actually end overtime. So they are going to have to break out and push it downfield and score. Otherwise, you know, eventually the Hino Bros are going to get something past.
You mentioned earlier how Ramrod playing a little bit too passive, right? Overcompensating from those mistakes that we saw previously. And it really comes down to which team is going to double commit first, right? Either that or a blatant whiff, obviously, but we're going to hope that those don't actually happen. And so it just becomes, right, a double commit. That might be the changing of this game. This one, if Solar doesn't get that touch, that is a goal. And right now, this one will still be a goal. Sadude ends up with the right angle. And that will be wraps on game number 3. Hino Bros take the series 3-0, but we got 2 more games to play.
We sure do. And I gotta, you know, I felt myself rooting for Team Ramrod that whole game. They came out strong. They had the lead. There was kind of one, you know, error, I guess you could say, that kind of tied it up. But that was their round, right? And we are watching better and better play, closer and closer games. This might be kind of the peak of these 5 rounds in the round 3, and we may see Team Ramrod with a potential 2 victories coming up. I think they can completely do it.
I think even if they escape with 1 here, I think they're going to make the tournament. I didn't quite do the math on everything, but I think they're going to be just squeaking into the playoffs. It will be close, and it will, you know, rely on 3 other teams, obviously, to win their games for them to not make it. But still, you want to have a little bit of security, and right now, that's not the way to start off feeling secure, as you once again find yourselves playing from behind.
Yeah, Rosa Trinity was set up for that. That was definitely kind of a rebound that's either been practiced or seen enough times that they knew exactly where they needed to be to get that goal. And that is just, this game's all about momentum. I'm convinced, like, the biggest mental aspect, like, there's a couple. One is just, you know, not getting stressed, not getting tilted. But the second is playing with confidence, right? We were talking about passive play. I guess the opposite of that would be confident/aggressive play. And that's what we're seeing here from Rosa Trinity and Sadude. Now, Solar and Neighborhood Bum have been doing phenomenal on defense, but they've got to up the scores. And here we go. We've got Suddude popping it up past the defenders. Is Team Ramrod going to get back in time? Unfortunately, no. Rosa Trinity scoring the second goal in round number 4.
Oh, that's just a great bump. Rosa Trinity manages to get the bump and maintains momentum, circles on down, and when the net is empty like that, you could just pass it out to your teammate and give them the goal themselves. So, hey, that's a way to take the 2-0 lead in this one. And now they're going to, search for trying to get their goals and their score line in the same way that their series is right now. That's right. A 3-0 would be ideal for them. Team Ramrod, though, we can't count them out. They've been strong today, and we just need them to string a couple goals together, make sure they can bring it all the way through those 5 minutes, and, well, I guess possibly more, as we saw last game.
Yeah, this is a good spot, actually, for them. Now, the Hino Bros are trying to take it on the outside, right? Keep it against the wall, but Solar able to bounce it back and forth off of the Hino Bro players. We're going to see it again, right? They try to redirect it, but Solar bouncing it off the backboard and getting that double touch is able to sneak it in right over Suddude, closing that gap. And so they are still in this. Only a minute and, 12 seconds have occurred so far. It's still anybody's game, and I'm excited to see more of that coming from Solar. And, wow, how did I blank? Neighborhood Bum for the rest of this round.
Suddude adding to that tally once again. And it seems like, the passing plays they're there, right? Sometimes you don't quite see it because in twos, you kind of have to go for a solo play. You don't want to make sure that you double commit or overextend. But somehow, Hino Bros are doing it in a healthy way to where they can get that outlet pass. They have a challenge, and they manage to get back in time for the counterattack. I mean, Team Ramrod, they just need a solid counterattack, right? That might actually be the good start of one. Yep.
There it is, and you can see it. The Hino Bro players, they stop driving. They're like, okay, Neighborhood Bum, you got this, right? Like, you snuck it by us. Fair. We've talked a lot about Team Ramrod and kind of the adjustments that we like to see, some of the adjustments that they've made. But I also want to point out that the Hino Bros, they've caught on to a couple things that are working really well, and they're doubling down on it. But hold that thought. Oh, my goodness. I thought Neighborhood Bum was going to get a shot straight off the kickoff there, and then I thought Solar was going to follow up with it, but it didn't happen. But back to the thought about the Hino Bros. What they've been able to capitalize on is that upper, third of the goal, right? They like to take it from high, bring it down in front, and set it up for the second player to knock it in. And if we did replay after replay of the goals that they've had, it's either open net or they snuck it in. And we might see that here again. But no, Team Ramrod on defense is going to be able to return this one.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, right, having those adaptations. But Suddude has just been the one to manage to squeak those goals by. The double tap not quite good off the backboard. So the follow-up shot will need to be better. Once again, that one will bounce right off the crossbar. Rosa Trinity looking for the challenge will only get the bump instead, but that is enough to make sure no additional offensive pressure will occur. And now, yep, Solar taking this one up the air dribble, looking for at least a direct line to the net. Runs out of boost on the way there, so can't quite reposition it to the ideal line. Rosa Trinity, though, somehow sneaks it past both like you called it. I mean, just gets one touch, two touch, three touch, and the bump by Suddude, as well as the demo. The pièce de résistance.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Absolutely. And that does give them a 4-2 lead, right? With 2 minutes remaining. This is a dangerous spot to be if you're on Team Ramrod. So here we go. We got Solar taken to the air, but Rosa Trinity is going to be able to maintain control. Suddude's about to set something up. And if they continue with the trend that they have been, they're going to take it up to the air. I think the Hino Bros, as I said before, I think that they feel a little bit more comfortable having some altitude, and that's where they're able to get a lot of their trickier goals accomplished. So stuck in the corner right now, Solar is going to pop it up, and then does still kind of maintain possession beyond Suddude. And we'll see if Rosa Trinity can make an attack happen.
Oh, is this just a goal? Oh
the
my gosh,
crossbar!
oh, the crossbar. Follow-up shot anywhere? Nowhere? Okay, no teammate. Teammate a little bit late. But oh boy, talk about a scoring chance. There was one for the Hino Bros, and maybe they get another here. No. Well, you mentioned play styles, and well, it seems like Team Ramrod, their play style is they are stuck in their net because look at this aggression from Hino Bros. You know, obviously you can play that ground game, but you have to capitalize on the weakness of your opponent's play style, right? If they're up in the air, you kind of have to go for a little bit more on fakes, and winning those 50s, those challenges can be really important for you. You can't just fully commit your car to one touch. You have to maybe get an extra one as well. So that's why the angle of the ball, it matters. Every single touch for that ground game is going to be very, very impactful. Whereas, you know, one for the aerial game, you can kind of just send it downfield if everything doesn't work out.
Yeah, when you have complete air superiority, you can have a little bit more leeway. But here comes another goal from Dude, trying to get closer and closer to that 2024. And that is going to give them a 5-2 lead. Yeah, I really like kind of what you brought up about the ground game. You know, teams that can do the ground game really well, things that we're looking for is maintaining that control, being able to dribble it, being able to do those light bounces off the wall to the self pass, being able to do very timely flicks to juke one defender, because so often these 2v2 matches really become mini 1v1 matches, right? And that is going to be another round for the Hino Bros as we get into round number 5.
You know, I hate to bring up, you know, the content side of it, but if you go to YouTube, there's this team that it's called Disunified. They disbanded a little while ago, but that's besides the point. The point is, they had one player that was very, very good with the ground game. And then they had their other teammates, which were very, very good at the aerial games. They had 2 freestylers, and they had one player that was really strong at that ground game, and they found a way to make it work. So really, Team Ramrod just need to find out the strengths of each teammate and then combine them together, assemble the stones on the Infinity Gauntlet, and make sure that you can snap those fingers and score some goals.
No, good point. And here we are in the last round, the last opportunity for both of these teams to finish the night off on a great note, as they're all trying to score more and more points on the leaderboard in preparation for next week's tournament. Right here we have, oh my goodness, Rosa Trinity's goal. It went in. Let's watch this replay again, because it went off of, who did it go off of? It went off Solar. Yeah, just a little bit of an unfortunate angle there. Very tough to save when you're trying to like redirect the ball without vision of the net, right? Like trying to knock it up or to the side when you don't actually see where it is. So good attempt there, but that is going to give the Hino Bros a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Team Ramrod there, unfortunately putting the oh no into own goal. That one, not ideal. Obviously, you don't want to score on your own goal, and if they didn't know that, well, they do now, right? The scoreline not changing in their favor. Team Ramrod, though, right? We've said it time and time again. I believe in them. They can come back. They got plenty of time. And here you go. Solar maybe with a chance. Looking for the double tap or at least some sort of dunk. Will not get it, but possession at least still a tiny bit there. Neighborhood Bum, though, has to re-challenge. And where was the rotation? It never came through. There's only so much you can do there in Team Ramrod. They just get outstyled as Hino Bros. They take that 2-0 lead.
It is tough. It's so tough in twos. The positioning is just so key, and there's so many opportunities for kind of those thread the needle shots from long distances. But still holding out. Team Ramrod does have just about 3.5 minutes to take a game off of the Hino Bros before tonight is over. Also, if you are new here, we have had some people jumping into the Twitch. This is week 5 of the Combat Tested Gaming League's competitive Rocket League season. And this is, next week is going to be the tournament. And right now, this is the final match play. It is for active duty service members, veterans, and it is graciously hosted by the KC crew and VFW. And so if you're a veteran or active duty service member, even if you don't play Rocket League, join the Discord. It's an awesome community. Lots of different games going on. Lots of conversations about VA benefits and just helping each other out. And if you want to compete in a free league, they offer Rocket League and Call of Duty. So really good time.
And a bunch of other games as well, right? It's just maybe not as popular, or a little bit smaller, but either way, maybe you can be that one person to expand the program, and suddenly we're going to have $1 million tournaments in the Discord. I don't know. Either way, Solar, though, saying that, hey, we're going to wake up a little bit. Sun is up, and we are shining. Solar managing to get one. It seemed like either the aerial wasn't fast enough to get the altitude, or just the shot was a little bit too high, which was perfect. I mean, whether that was intentional or not, placement was there. It was good. And now you're at least fighting. You have a will, a chance in this one.
Yeah, that was a perfect shot. I thought that bump happened before the shot. Unfortunately, the bump didn't really matter, but it made it for such a cool goal. And right now we have Sadude trying to give them a taste of their own medicine, trying to bounce one off of the ground into the goal. But now Neighborhood Bum fighting with Rosa Trinity, and it's just it's a scrappy fight right now. Both teams looking for an opportunity in which the other is out of position. There's an open net, and they can just boot it all the way across and in. Right now, you know, we have Solar playing pretty far back, which I'm not against, right? Like we've discussed how you either got to double commit, you got to play defense, but you can't, you know, neglect rotating. There's times to break each of those rules, right? It's kind of like, at what time are you double committing? At what time are you not rotating? And I think right now they're doing the right thing. Just keeping one back, looking for that opportunity to boot one all the way across and then tap it in. But right now, oh, Sadude adding another one to the board, even with heavy Team Ramrod presence, and that is just going to extend their lead to 4-1. And there's only about 1 minute and 43 seconds left. This is going to be a tough one for Team Ramrod.
You said just boot it, and
just
all
boot
I
it.
can think of
Clear
now
it.
is just beat it, or just
well,
eat
now,
it.
now that's all I think
it.
about.
If we're talking in like a Weird Al Yankovic, which we can make a cover, we can call it RL Yankovic, standing for Rocket League Yankovic, and it's just boot it. And there's your new cover coming out soon. Make sure to join the Discord to check out the new cover. We're going to have a whole playlist by the time this is over.
We probably will. 5-1, Sadude just getting that momentum, scoring another one. No doubt listening to Just Boot It in the background, probably on full blast. And yeah, overall, the Hino Bros have had a wonderful night tonight. And as much as I've been kind of rooting for Team Ramrod after round number 1, I always love a good like underdog story. The Hino Bros are coming off of an 0-5 week last week, and so it is really refreshing to see them come back. They obviously put in some work, or they just felt good today, and they're able to have that like redemption arc before we get to the final tournament next week.
Yeah, and really, it seems like it is a wrap, right? For Hino Bros, they seem to have locked down those 5 games. So they're going to be feeling pretty strong. I mean, I'm going to do some quick math real quick. Just see what it is on the standings. Well, make that a 6-1. Oh, no. Are we going to have to do it? Are we going to have to get the passports out and go to a Brazil at 7-1?
Well, I think we've talked that to death, the old Brazil thing. I'm hoping that we just don't, right? I do think that it's going to be a challenge to come all the way back. I hope that we still see a good game coming out here, but I want Team Ramrod to score some, right? I think that right now there's 2 ways that the Hino Bros can play it. They can either sit back and just kill the clock, right? Just focus on being passive, or they can do what they're doing now and just up the offense. Make the gap so wide that there's no way it's going to be made up. And right now, I think it's about that time, Ari.
Yeah, they called it.
You did.
They said it in the chat. They said Brazil. Yeah, I mean, the players know that the game might be over, but the vibes are still up, right? This league, still very fun, very entertaining. Everyone here just to have a great time, and really, that's what you can really do in these final 20 seconds. Maybe get a little bit of a consolation goal, maybe style on your opponents, whatever you gotta do to salvage your dignity. Dun, dun, dun. No, just have some fun. Final seconds as clock winds down. That'll be it for the series. That'll be it for our 5 games today. Hino Bros taking 5 straight. Get the brooms out. It's a sweep.
Yes, it was. And you know what, though? It was very entertaining. It was a great game. I want to go ahead and talk about the standings a little bit. I know you were talking about doing quick math quickly, and we entered this, right, with, let's go ahead and check the standings, with Team Ramrod actually being the favored team in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had these mixed up when the game was actually going. But they had 11 points on the scoreboard. They are going to stay at 11 points, right? And so I don't know what's going on with the Goats and Glory versus Team 3 game, or just the tip of the spear and the original OGs who are playing. But Hino Bros, all things remaining equal, have just given them a complete shot at second place, right? Depending if Goats and Glory, a favored team, did very well against Team 3 tonight. So I'd be curious to see how this all shakes out.
Well, I'm just trying to think at the worst possible result right now. I mean, you think, right? Okay, Team Ramrod, they stay at 11 points. Let's say the teams below them all win.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Is it possible for them to get knocked out of this tournament? It seems... Oh, yeah. Yes, it is possible.
Line? What's the line for the tournament?
Top 8. So if Beta Agonists win 5 straight games, it is possible. Along with, Jody's knocking and Beta Blockers as well. If they win their games by at least 2 games, or at least if they win 2 games and win. So they have to win 3.
And these two are playing each other, right? So
are they?
Yeah, so these two teams are playing each other, which means that if it's an even balance, right? And let's say Jody's Knocking wins 3 and Beta Blockers win 2, Team Ramrod is still tied for 8th.
No,
right?
They'll win. They'll win because of the win-loss record. Hino Bros will be at 2 and 3. Beta Blockers will be at 1 and 4. So actually, yes, you are correct. Hino Bros, they made it. They're in.
They made it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no matter what happens, I think, if we did it right, based on the win-loss record and everything. So very cool, very cool. Everyone, thank you so much. Sorry, nose itches, for joining us tonight. This was the last game of the regular season. Next week, we are going to have the tournament of the Rocket League Season 3 Combat Tested Gaming League. It has been a great time. As I said, join the Discord if you're not already in there. If you know anyone that's an active duty service member or veteran, make sure you go ahead and join that Discord. There's tons of stuff going on, not just this Rocket League or the Call of Duty League that you see, but you've probably been seeing a lot of other community streamers on here. There's VA benefits opportunities to discuss, and it's just a really cool place to hang out. And it's undergoing a lot of changes and growing very rapidly. But with that, great job, Hino Bros, Team Ramrod. Maybe not the best week, but it sounds like we'll get to see you play again in the tournament. So everyone have a great rest of your night and stay safe.